Hello again, this is Chuck Gardner with another one of my boring golf tutorials. I am holding probably the best $20 I ever spent on golf, which is a grip trainer, which has a molded grip which puts the hands in the correct spots on the golf grip. And it also has a weighted shaft on it. It forces you out of necessity, because you can't lay it on the floor, to grip it up in the air. This is the first device where I started to get a inkling of how to grip a club, because it pretty much literally forces you to grip it as Hogan suggested by putting your hand on palm first rather than laying it on the ground and wrapping your hands around. I have short fingers and big palms, so if I wrap around my hand with my fingers in the correct spot, my hands aren't in the correct spot. But this time, every time, it gets my thumb in the right place. Then the trail hand goes over the top, and because my hands are smaller, if I put it where the finger grips suggest, the problem I discovered with that is that my hands are too far separated. I've talked in previous videos about how the bases of the thumbs act like the holes in the hinge, right? And this thing, while it gets my lead hand in the correct position, doesn't do a very good job because I have short fingers and big palms. So, it is, however, when I grip it properly, not down with my hands here, it's a very useful swing aid in the house because I can swing it without hitting things. Now, in my previous video, and you can get by the way, you can get these on Amazon and sports shops, online sports shops, golf shops for about 25 bucks now. Now, the other day, my wife, she's gotten interested in golf. She's playing golf with her friends. She played about 20 years ago when I could play for free when I was working at a golf course, but then she sort of gave it up, but she's starting again. And she's left-handed, so I was trying to teach her left-handed golf swing. And like most people who are beginners, and particularly women, they tend to, they swing with their arms, and that's what she was doing, swinging with her arms and not her body. And so what I did is I gave her this drill, and I got some interesting insights from watching her do this drill. The drill I suggested was based on what I've been talking about, using this, anchoring this trail hand and using it like a fulcrum, and also gripping the club 90 degrees closed and then rotating to get this lead arm stretched. So I was having her do that, right? And what I was trying to get across to her is that in a golf swing, the rotation of the body is like the crankshaft in the engine, and that really creates most of the kinetic energy, and what the arms do is amplify it. The reason you want to do this twisting motion, I went in depth in that in the last video, this stretching of the muscle keeps the arm straight. This, if you keep it in the drill, not when you actually swing, but for this drill, what you want to do is keep this trail hand pressed into your side. When you grip the club and get the bases of the thumbs aligned here, and you also anchor this elbow into your body, you've got this arm stretched tight and straight, this one's anchored into your body, you lower it and straighten it, And this brachioradialis muscle will stretch too. But then when you swing, you can't, I'm not able to swing it with my arms independent of my shoulders, because this configuration of working the left arm and the right arm against each other in the grip, pinning the trail hand over the base of the lead hand, this creates a very, very firm and rigid arm triangle, to the point where you cannot bring it back with just your arms. You have to rotate your shoulders, which was the point I was trying to get across to her. Now, this was the new insight that I got watching her, because as she brought her club back, like a lot of beginners do, she rotated it back. So she was coming up back here somewhere, and that's what it seems like you want to do, because this goal is getting it up parallel. But what happens, I observed in her swing, was when you consciously try to cock it and bring it back, it gets the butt end of the club pointing in the wrong direction, and by the time you rotate, it's not in the right position, and it's difficult to stay in balance. So the drill I had her start doing to break the habit of swinging it back was I had her just start and establish the grip at the addressed position, and then do nothing but bring the club back like this. Just up and down, pound it down to the ground, right? Now, that was to break her of the habit of doing this. Now, what happens in a golf swing, it's a compound action. And you do this. Now, the golf club is starting on this line here, and if all you do is bring it up, now the golf club is actually outside of where the ball would be. It comes outside. But look what happens when you add the hip turn. You turn your hips 45 degrees. Where does the club wind up? It winds up right on that line where it started. So that was the insight that I got, and I passed along to her, was that by doing this action here and grooving that feel of the club waggling up and down with the direction of the important thing is that the direction the butt of the club is pointing to, which is about right here on my body, as I'm waggling the club, that does not change. As I'm not going to waggle the club, I'm merely going to turn and let the momentum carry it up. Look at where the butt end points, at the same place. So the insight is that if you want to keep the club down the line, the way to do it is to start by letting it come up outside, and then it comes back inside, not by turning it over in your hands, but because the hips are rotating and bringing it inside. So, and a lot of things about the golf swing, what you think you see in a golf swing is not actually how things happen in a good swing. So what I suggest is try this next time you're at the range, is do this crazy thing where you start with it 90 degrees off and then turn it so you get your arm straight, And just start out by waggle 1, 2, 3, 4, then rest the club on the ground and do nothing but turn your hips and then bring it down and swing normally. Now, when she started doing that, she started hitting the ball dead straight and without any effort, blasting it across the yard. We're using those rubber squeaky balls we usually do. And here is the other insight and how you know if you're doing it correctly. If you do this thing correctly where you just waggle up 1 or 2, 3 times, then you turn it back and just let the momentum carry it up, you're bringing up the club to here. The club is doing all the work. It's coming up to here. You have done nothing. And the reason this works, it goes back to this anchoring of the elbow. The way this works so foolproof is that the elbow is anchored against the body. If you started out with your arms just freely swinging, you're not going to get that consistent path. So this combination of action plus turning gets it up here. Now it will come up all the way and cock. Now here's the thing, when you get it up to this point here, if your shaft is angled back over your shoulders already, you've rotated your hands too much. You've let the momentum of the club rotate your hands, and now the club shaft is not going to point back at the same spot at your hips if you waggle it back down. And that's what she was doing. She was winding up like this, and it was pulling her off balance. And that's the other insight, is that to shoot an accurate golf shot, strike an accurate golf shot, you have to stay in balance. And to stay in balance, when the club comes back to here, you don't want it to turn like this. You want it to stay in this waggle orientation, and it will wind up vertically. As you turn, then it will wind up parallel and come back down and come down straight down the line. The final observation was that she was so focused on this action, doing this action correctly here, at impact, she just stopped. And you can't stop the golf swing at impact. You have to keep going. And what you need to do when you get up to here and rotate your shoulders fully and then come back down and deliver the club, as your clubs drop over, your hands drop over your back leg, that's when you want to start side bending. Here's a swing without any side bend, and the finish, the club comes this way because there's no side bend. You just rotate your hips and your shoulders to release. Here's the after impact view with side bend. You come down and keep the shaft vertical, rotate the rest of the way to 90 degrees, come back, deliver the club, and at this point you side bend. And that side bend allows you to push the club face down the line longer. It will still come around as this lead elbow connects and folds, but it stays down the line longer after impact if you side bend. So, in the space of about 15 minutes, I got her from doing an all-arm swing to a very connected swing with side bend, and she went out and played with the girls today, and she said she was hitting the ball great. She played a little par 3 course near here on Oak Island, and she said she got 3 pars on 18 holes. So it worked for her, so I thought I would pass it along, and hope you would try it and comment to see if it works. So thanks for watching again. Like and subscribe if you like these videos. It'll encourage me to keep doing them. Thanks for watching.